always.
What about her?
Yes, sir. Geeks all over the globe, guys. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Cuz We Geek. But we encourage you to stay geek, man. Really ain't decided yet if I'm gonna be a Jedi or if I'm gonna be a Mandalorian, man. It's your boy Rail. Got Cuz in the building. Got Pink Day in the building being a hater. And of course, we got BA once again, man. Showing off out here because the team won. Listen, man, we definitely appreciate y'all joining us. Man, I thought I had one right here too, BA. But I'm glad you guys are joining us here for another episode, man. If you guys are into movies and television involving the geek culture in the right place, we ask you hit that subscribe button. Join us here every Tuesday evening, Saturday morning as we continue to get our geek on, man. We talk about all things related like Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Grogu, Mandalorian, whatever it is, y'all. We talk about it over here on Cuz We Geek'd. Also, too, if you guys have any questions or any comments addressing any of the topics that we bring up on the show, we ask that you put them there in the comment section and we'll address those at the end of the show. Okay. So for the folks who come here saying hi and why you're not talking to me, there's reasons. We address those at the end of the show. Okay. So, fellas.
I said hi.
Dang it, I said hi. Hey. All right, yeah, let's get to it, man. But before we do, man, let's go ahead and quickly show some love, man, to the merch of the channel. Paper rocks. No, okay. Yes, listen, y'all. If you're interested in any of the merch of the channel, simply scroll down to the description box below. Click on that link and check out all the merch that we have here for the channel. All right, fellas, let's get to it, man. I know there's gonna be some hating going on. One guy's proud of his favorite producer's work. Other guys is gonna be straight hating. Y'all guess who it is. But let's get to it, man. But listen. Before we do all that, we're going to be talking about Mandalorian and Grogu and all of his spoilery goodness. All right. So I'm going to warn you now. If you have not seen the movie, this is we warning you. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Are there really spoilers in this movie, though?
Oh, man. Yeah. Andy begins. Listen, y'all. If you have not seen this movie, we recommend you go watch the movie, come back, let us know what y'all think. But until then, man, we're going to be getting our spoil on. We usually let you guys know what we thought of the movie, kind of have our discussions, takeaways, all that stuff. And then we'll have a Kaioken rating, a scale of 1 to 10 to let you know what we thought of the movie. All right, fellas, before we start deep diving into it, let's go ahead and look at some little tidbits from the movie. Check this out here, y'all. Mandalorian and Grogu debuts with an 88% audience rating. So check this out. 52% critic score, which it went up to 62%. Audience score, of course, is 88%. The Mandalorian and Grogu debuts with the best Rotten Tomatoes audience score yet in Star Wars Disney era, which is crazy. I thought Force Awakens might have had a higher one, but okay. Let's see what else we got. Oh, my bad. Back to the screen. So this is the Mandalorian and Grogu currently has the 4th highest Rotten Tomato audience score of any theatrical Star Wars film. Empire Strike Back at 97, the first original Star Wars at 96, Return of Jedi at 94, which all the top three is a given. So if you're telling me you're right below the top three, then that tells you something. It's right above Rogue One. Interesting. And, Rogue One because it's my favorite Star Wars movie. This is crazy. Rise of Skywalker, one of the most divisive movies of all time. 86% by the audience. You can't tell by the internet. Force Awakens is 84%. Revenge of the Sith, 66%. Solo, 63%. Phantom Menace, 59%. Attack of the Clones, 56%. The Last Jedi is 41%. Clone Wars, 39%. That's crazy. So check this out, fellas. Jon Favreau reveals huge plans for BJ's favorite character, Grogu, and future beyond the new Mandalorian movie. This is what he had to say. He says, creatively, I have a lot of plans and I have a lot of thoughts about these characters, especially for Grogu. Grogu is a character that his species lives for centuries. He's on a path to be both a Jedi and a Mandalorian. He's making certain choices and decisions, and he has a great teacher now. And so as he develops and grows, there's opportunity for stories and would emanate from emanate from that. That's from Jon Favreau. See what else I got here. Oh, that's it. All right, y'all. That was something else I had. I was going to talk about, but look, that's it. Maybe I'll maybe put I don't even know my Grogu at. I got one behind me right here. I don't know if y'all see it on my screen. Dang, Spurs won by 13. I mean, not won by 13. Anyway, but yeah. So get y'all thoughts on it. Big J, let me start with you, man. Since I know you're gonna be some hating out here, man. What you think about this movie, man? What you think about old Mandalorian and Grogu?
It was a movie. It was in the cinemas.
Damn, I knew it, bro. I knew it.
That one soundtrack song was fire. That one I sent y'all to Shikari when it was on the planet Shikari. So we all know that this started off, as Jon Favreau said, as The Mandalorian season 4, and it very much plays like The Mandalorian season 4 because in the early seasons of The Mandalorian, what did we see? It'd be Mando had to go here and do a mission. Oh, you need to get this. Oh, we need you to go over here because you need to. And actually, it's the exact same as the Bad Batch. They do the exact same thing in every Bad Batch episode. Is we need you to go and get this thing over here from these people. But when you get here, we can't get that until you go get this for us. So we need you to go over there and do this. And then, then eventually they accomplish all the missions. But that's kind of the same with this story. But they do it a couple times. And so, to me, it wasn't a bad movie. It's an unnecessary movie because it didn't advance anybody's story, really. I mean, Grogu still can't talk. Mando still got to keep his mask on, even though they snatched it off, but he killed everybody, so there's no consequences to it. So he wasn't dishonored because he ended up, and we all knew he was going to kill him because they saw his face. And he wasn't about to jump in that water again on Mandalore, so he was like, well, everybody was going to die. So I'm like I said, there was no consequences. Nothing happened in this movie except the twins from the Book of Boba Fett died. And we got to see Jeremy Allen White as a buff slug.
Rod of the Hood.
Rod of the Hood. I know the name. So, like I said, it's just like, did this push any Star Wars, agenda? Did this forward the overall universe story? No. It was a contained story that didn't have nothing to do with anything else. And I don't think it's going to have any ramifications upon the broader universe. And the thing is, this made me rethink about everything about Star Wars. So I know we hold Star Wars in high esteem. I've been a fan of Star Wars. I saw the first one when I was like 3 or 4 years old, when it came out in '77. Because I know, BA, like I say, I'm 97 years old. So yes, I was about 3 or 4 years old when the first Star Wars came. I saw all of them in the theaters.
Part of the test group.
Huh?
You was part of the test group.
Yeah, me and Yoda the same age according to BA. So okay, so I was sitting there, like I said, I saw the movies, I bought all the toys, I still got all the Star Wars high to it. So my thing is, I love Star Wars as a thing, but I started going back and looking at the action movies. So I started rewatching some of the original movies, And if you watch them, they're not that good on second. Like if you watch it now, like the stuff we thought was amazing. Like if you watch the fight between Vader and Obi-Wan
And
in episode 4, it was like,
no.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, they were swinging clumsy. Ain't no Sarisu versus.
It was just dude.
Yeah, dude. Oh, look over there. Poof, then he just
Dude.
disappeared. And look at when Luke was fighting. Remember Luke and Vader's fight. It was and they were swaying wild. I'm like,
hey, they were swinging in like he backing up. Vader walking slowly towards him the whole time. Yeah.
So, like I said, if you go back and rewatch it from like now that we've seen, because as bad as the prequels were, because everybody hated the prequels when they came out. Now everybody got nostalgia about the prequels. As bad as the prequels were, and everybody hated the prequels.
Hold on. Why everybody like the prequels?
Now they do.
No. I say why?
Why?
Because of the sequels. Because of the sequels.
I think it's because they saw it as kids, and it became it's the same thing. Like I said, I saw Star Wars when I was a kid, and so people saw the prequels. People your age saw the prequels when you were kids, and you're like, oh wow. So it's got that magic in your mind, and you put it in a favorite way. Like adults who saw it, we were like, yeah, this is dumb. Because once again, go back and like I said, I know everybody holds George Lucas on this thing, but go back and look at the dialogue in the prequels, and you'll be like, yeah, that sounds dumb. The stuff that he has characters saying in the original and the prequels, it's dumb. It's very bad dialogue. It's very bad action. Now the prequels had better action because they had like Ray Park and people actually trained a little bit to learn how to fight and stuff. But like I said, if you go back and watch it from the lens of just comparing to other movies, like you watch the action in Star Wars versus the action in The Matrix or the action in John Wick or any of that kind, it doesn't compare. And like I said, but the crazy thing is that people poop on the Disney era, but go back and look at Rogue One and look at old boy Donnie Yen in Rogue One. He was one of the coolest. It was, and that's a great story. Andor, great story. We just saw the Maul, Shadow Lord, great story. Yeah. So they have the ability to give you greatness, but then they also like, let's throw out this, and so that's why I said I'm kind of torn to see what's going to happen because we've seen the highest levels of Star Wars. Like I said, the Andor series, Chef's Kiss.
Rogue One, all that.
Rogue One, Chef's Kiss. But then they also have a Solo in there, so which is not terrible, but it ain't good.
But it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't up there. I get it. I agree.
So, like I said, we get a mixed bag. But like I said, I think we unfairly compared to this mythologized thing that we have. Star Wars is the greatest. It's been going on since '77. It's the greatest thing ever was. It's the most cohesive, coherent story, and it's not. It is what it is. It's flawed, but we love it because we were fans and we fell in love with that world when we were children.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, but this story, it doesn't tie to anything. It doesn't do anything. And like I said, and I think we may have seen Grogu going forward. I don't know if we're gonna see Mando going forward.
So supposedly, rumors that date we are. I don't know though. I don't know.
And so let me ask: does it bother anybody else that what's his name, Pedro Pascal, shows up for 10 minutes in this movie? All of a sudden, all of 10 minutes. Because most of the time it's not even him in the outfit. It's John Wayne's grandson and his stunt double.
It's another guy who do fight choreography. Like he's a capoeira expert.
Capoeira, yeah, his name is Lateef something, I forgot, but he does all the stunt stuff, and then John Wayne's grandson does the walk, the cowboy walk, and that's all it is. So like I don't know. To me, I'm like, because out there he does the voiceover. So that's why when they did the billing, if you notice in the title sequence, they all had top 3 billing. It was Pedro Pascal, then whatever Wayne, and then Lateef, whatever. They had those 3 names at the top because all 3 of them are the star of the movie, not one person.
Right.
So I thought it was good that they gave them props, and acknowledged them because they, But so like I said, it wasn't a terrible movie. It didn't do anything as far as I'm concerned. It was okay. It was a good popcorn movie, but like I said, it was no stakes. What did y'all think? What did you say?
Your mic went out.
You said my mic went out? You can't hear me?
I can hear.
I wish I didn't.
So unplug it in. Try to plug it back in. See what
I can hear.
They said they can hear me.
That's me.
Is
Yeah,
it the storm?
What the world
Can
was
you
that?
hear me?
My head.
It,
No, I hear y'all now. My headphones just like made a sound that I'd never heard before. Then it came back on, and then I heard you say something. Cause my bad. Go ahead, BJ. My bad.
No, I was saying, I just said what I said. I was like, like I said, it didn't have, there was no stakes to me in this movie at all. So, like I said, it doesn't build on anything, and I don't think it's going to lead to anything. At least nothing that happened in this movie, I think is going to have consequences going forward. I think it was a standalone story. That's why they did the whole, they didn't have a crawl because it's not part of a saga, and it's just a standalone movie. But unlike Rogue One and Solo, those, were
Connected. Yeah.
connected. This one was just like, this is happening right here. Here you go. All right. And then they'll go on to Ahsoka, and like I said, they're supposed to introduce the Mortis gods and all that, and I don't think it'll be connected. But
What you got,
what y'all
BJ?
think?
Oh man. So out of all that, you sat down and you said it was a popcorn movie. So that means you did enjoy it, right? I just want to clear. All right, cool. Bet. Understood. So all that negativity, you think that he wouldn't enjoy it, but he ended up enjoying the movie. And that's the most important thing, that you sat down and you enjoyed the movie. The opening scene was a great opening scene.
yeah.
Hey, what you do, cuz?
You.
Thank
Nice,
you.
bro. I ain't gonna lie. That was nice.
The fight scene when they was in the pit was a great little fight scene. To see the exploration of Grogu and him coming up, just growing up a little bit before our eyes, saving Mando was a good little montage there for him. It wasn't even a montage; it was just a little scene by scene by scene. Even when he couldn't fit in the little igloo, that was funny. The whole theater laughed. Chuck at that. You feel me? And the scene when he just went straight Rambo and, and killed almost everybody and everything like that. People geeked out when when he went into the pit and had to fight that gigantic snake and stuff like that. So it was multiple stuff in this movie where it was like, yo, this is pretty good. Like, you found yourself enjoying the movie. It's just your critical mind is at play right now because you want more. That's what you want. You want more other than the fact that they gave you 2 hours of enjoyable movie. That's what they did. And instead of putting it in a Disney Plus series, they said, you know what? If we shelling out all this money for these graphics, and like I said, especially some of these scenes in that pit where it was just a whole bunch of aliens that we don't know about, but they matched the aliens for the New Hope and all the games and stuff they was playing. They played homage to that because we finally saw that in real life. They was doing the exact same moves. It was like, cool. Why not get some money for it? And that's exactly what they did. They got money back for the stuff because they got tired of trying to bank everything off of Disney Plus renewals and stuff like that. So yeah, all right, sell out a couple of dollars and enjoy it. Bring your little ones, bring your nieces, bring your nephews. Let them get involved with seeing who Grogu is, because that's what this was kind of centered around. Mando had his moments for sure, but it was Grogu that stole the show. And I think that's what they was trying to get out of it. So when you move forward, the future ramifications is that we have a baseline of people knowing who Mando and who Grogu really is. So now when they show up in another Star Wars movie, maybe something that's centered around Thrawn and stuff like that, they don't have to do a background. They don't have to do anything when it comes to Mando and Grogu because we already know who they are. They seen it in another movie. So that was fine. It was things that was, I guess I can nitpick about this movie. I guess one of the things is I wish they just kind of grew up a little bit, like just a little bit, and I'll be okay with it. Matter of fact, they ain't gotta grow them up too much. Just change the attire. I'm tired of that loose brown outfit that he got on. Just make him go with the with the stuff that Mando gave him in the Boba Fett joint or whatever. Just make it a little bit more tight, a little form fitted. That's all I had. They gave him the cane though. Shout out to Yoda. It was like, y'all want Baby Yoda? We're gonna give him that scene when he walking through the joint with the cane. So they did a lot of that stuff. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I seen it. multiple times. Like I said, I wasn't asking for too much. They said that this is pretty much a season 4 in the movies, and that's what we got. We got about 4 or 5 episodes, and you can even, if you was watching it, like really watching, you could tell, okay, cut. All right, next episode.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of see that throughout the whole entire thing. And I'm not mad. I mean, this is Star Wars we talking about. We saw how they spliced up some of these other Star Wars movies. Episode 3 for sure. Like it was badly spliced up. So I was like, okay, I get it. I get what he was trying to do. So like I said, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Pedro. Like it, I got 10 minutes of Pedro. I don't care for Pedro. It's just he just happened to be Vando at this point. And I'm glad that they split the billing with everybody else because it's not just about him. He doesn't matter. You know, his voice is what matters, if anything. I don't need to see him doing these action moves and stuff like that. I'm not paying to see Pedro do these things. He just doesn't do them. Even as Reed Richards, he's just going to stretch and stuff like that. Like he's not doing too much of anything anymore, and I don't need him to. So if you're thinking that you're trying to pay money to see him punch people and stuff like that, why? Why are we paying money to see Pedro? I'm paying money to see Mando. That's who I'm paying money to. So he can have a mask on the whole entire movie. I could care less. As long as I got the voice and it could be anybody else underneath the mask, I am good to go. So I'm glad they just gave him 10 minutes just to give him 10 minutes. And then as soon as he put the mask back on, he started to kick more ass. So that's all I wanted to see. So it had like I said, it had moments. It reintroduced the bounty hunter guy, and he was actually somewhat of a threat. So I like to see him moving forward.
Run it back.
The Huts, man.
You want to see this guy
here?
I thought you were about to change the scene. Shout out to the Huts, man. I enjoy watching them. As long as they didn't bring back old girl from the from the animated joints that played on sexualities and stuff, like they didn't bring her back. I forgot. I think her name was Zero or something. I forgot her name.
Zero the Hutt. Zero the Hutt.
Yeah. I didn't need her in this movie. I didn't need that. But you know, the twins that we got, they were fine. They played their part. And it was nice seeing them get eaten up. Like, it's just call it what it is. It was nice seeing that. The little guys that was with Grogu, they damn near stole the show.
Baba
right,
Frick.
Yeah. Like,
that wasn't Baba Frick. That was Baba Frick. That was other Anzella.
We'll be back, baby. We'll be back.
So, like, I guess one of the major problems with the secondary characters, that now we're talking about the secondary characters, is my man Zeb. It's just those that don't know Rebels and stuff like that, you be like, who is this guy and why is he around? Why is he important? That kind of thing. But you know, I watch Rebels. I know all about Zeb. So to see him in live action and to see him do things that I didn't even see him doing Rebels was pretty awesome. I mean, he had a couple of scenes where he straight was doing this thing. So, everybody was just, you know, it was just like a good feel good movie. Whereas though, next thing you know, you look at your watch, damn, I done spent 2 hours in this joint, and that's it.
Yeah, you didn't feel like 2 hours.
And don't expect it to be on par with The Empire Strikes Back. It's not that kind of a movie. So if you're thinking that it's that kind of movie, then you're setting too high expectations. It's just Star Wars. And like you said, Star Wars got multiple movies. It doesn't have to all be centered around the same exact thing and all this other stuff. It's just this one little spinoff movie, man. Good job.
Oh, real quick, cuz before you go, this is what I forgot. I knew I forgot something. So, Mandalorian and Grogu movie earns 165 million worldwide, 102 domestic, 63 international. So it made 80 opening weekend. It made 100 the 4-day weekend.
What are you looking at? Because I'm looking at Box Office Mojo. They got 161 worldwide, 98 domestic.
I guess that's before. Tell me right now.
Yeah, I got it pulled up. I pulled it up when we started.
Oh, rate the numbers again.
They say 98. They say 98 million domestic, 63 million worldwide. I mean international, 161 worldwide.
They made 100 after the 4-day weekend. It made 100 weekend. It made 80 on the opening day weekend.
Yeah, it said 81, 670 opening week for the opening, but it says 98, 91 is what it shows right now.
Okay. But I mean, it's not bad, man. I think they said the budget was a little high though. I think it was like 200 million or something like that for the budget. Which means we'll probably have to make about 410 to kind of break even. But I mean, it's what it is.
I've been in 410 to 440. You know, depends on what you're talking about, the 2.5 times, because you know you got to do the 50% for the movie theater take and all that.
And then marketing all that.
So look, I didn't say it was a bad movie, man. I just said it was not.
If you could do a poll, by the time you finish your opening spiel, you'd think that you was just talking crap. I know you wasn't, but that was the vibe that you was getting, and that's the vibe that you gave up. And that's why I was like, "What you just said?"
I love this movie, but
no. So
it's like, yo, it's cloudy. And I was like, yeah, you know, good things happen when the rain comes up. But David, you just said it was cloudy and dark and gloomy and all that other stuff. Like,
I did not. No, what I was saying is, like I said, because we put Star Wars on this pedestal. But if you go back and watch it objectively, they're not amazing movies. It's just they were amazing to us at the time.
So nostalgia.
From nostalgia.
How it makes you feel.
Like I tell you, when I watched all of the prequel movies, everybody hated the prequel movies. People complained for years, but then when those kids who watched it grew up, they be like, "Man, that wasn't that bad." You know, and I remember because not everybody talk about how much they love what's his face?
Hayden Christensen.
No, not Hayden Christensen. The other one, the one everybody hated. The dude almost killed himself.
Oh, we talking about the young
no, not him. I'm not talking about young. I'm talking about the character.
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, people, like I said, they've been making the Jar Jar Binks hot dog. They're about to sell out. It was all of a sudden it's the hottest selling time. I'm like, why? Everybody hated Jar Jar Binks, and like I said, they pushed that man to almost off himself because all the negativity that came out when
to him and little Anakin.
Oh yeah, because remember, you saw there was a dude that almost got it had made a documentary.
Yeah,
about it. I was almost famous because he was almost Anakin Skywalker, but luckily he didn't get that part because he said, you know, the other guy suffered from depression and all that. And like I said, it was not a walking around because there was a lot of negativity. But and see, the thing is, people don't blame George Lucas, who wrote all that stuff. I
was just about to say, I've been said that. I said, bro, I was mad at George for that because you put that young kid in that situation.
Even Hayden Christensen, his lines were terrible. The dialogue in the prequels, it's very juvenile.
I was with him when he was talking about the sand.
I was just about to say, I like the sand.
That was emotional.
You know sand was very coarse. What do you mean? Come on, BJ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Even like the young one, he was talking to. He's like, "Are you an angel?" I'm like, "Come on."
Oh yeah.
It's just he's not a great writer of stories. He's good visually and all that, and like I said, setting up ILM and the THX, you know, all that stuff he did to advance movie making.
Yeah, he did.
Like I said, his own personal stories are not amazing. Because, like I said, we saw better writing in Andor. We saw better writing even in Maul Shadow was better. We've seen, like I said, there's a lot of, like I said, Rogue One was better. Like I said, yeah. I mean, even and I know it was like a throwback stuff, but like J.J. Abrams when he first came back, that's why I had hope for when they did the Force Awakens, because that was actually a good popcorn movie. But like I said, everybody loved it because it made you feel like Star Wars, and you got to see all the people. Then they abandoned all that stuff. So that's like I said, that's the problem when Disney rebooted and they said, hey, we're going to come up with a new trilogy. They should have had a cohesive plan for all three movies from the beginning, and they did not.
I'm gonna talk about that here in a little bit, BJ, because there's some I heard going forward. But what you got, cuz?
There's a few things that Big J talked about. when it comes to these movies. So when it comes to people understanding or enjoyment of these movies, it's two things: it's how it make you feel, and then it is your expectations of it. When it
Yep.
came to this movie, I don't think people had a high expectation for it because they, when they talked about it, they didn't even set a high expectation. It was, hey, we started as a season 4. We decided to move it to a movie, and this is what it's going to be. So it wasn't, hey, this is going to be a massive movie undertaking. This is what we're giving you. So that curtailed the expectations. I think that's
Yep.
what's happening when it came to the audience score. Is that they gave them what the expectation. They gave them a good expectation, and they met it. That's where the 88 came from. And then when it
Yep.
came to the feeling as well, kind of like what Big J was saying, you have all these Star Wars movies that made people feel something when they were kids or just younger, and then when you get older, you still remember how it made you feel. So that's something that you want to protect. And so when it comes to certain movies and certain when it came to the prequels, they felt like it attacked essentially those feelings, and so that's where people were against them. But over time, those feelings started to soften, so they made felt a little bit better when it came to the negative side. So that's where this one stands, is that it did well when it came to meeting expectations, and it also made you feel pretty good watching it because it was just a good movie that you enjoyed sitting down watching. It wasn't the story is what it is, but the action was fun. You enjoyed watching the action throughout, and it hit those nails. So it was a good, fun movie, and it's going to earn its money back for sure. What you got, bro?
BA, how many times you seen this movie?
So twice.
Twice. Okay, because I'm gonna probably go see it again this weekend too. I was telling my cousin that, man, because she was saying she want to go see it again too. Your sister loved it,
Oh, I know.
because she was saying
I know.
yeah, she said she want to see it again too. Like BA said, man. Well, cuz you hit you nailed it, man. This the thing, bro. I did not have high expectations going into this movie. I didn't.
Exactly.
We saw the trailers. I think we talked about it on the show. You know, the trailers they were okay. It wasn't bad. It was okay. And it did feel like BA said, it did feel like an episode of season 4 of Mandalorian. But it's like the production and the budget was higher. Is what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, man, the CGI, the stakes felt a little bit higher. Not like nothing massive or anything, but within the story of Mandalorian, it felt a little bit higher. The fact the action was fire in this, and this is the best action I've seen out of Mandalorian out of all 3 seasons plus this movie. This is the best action. So whoever sat down and said we need to have better action for this character, get that person a raise because they did. That was a great job, man. Like you said, I can't think of what's the guy's name again, Big J, who does the capoeira. Yes, something like that. Because he's the one, bro, that need a raise. Because the action scenes with him, bro, was fire. And so, yeah, that's really what drew me, man. I was on the edge of my seat for this movie, man. This is my thing, bro. There's some truth to what you said, Big J. And I think we're spoiled as Star Wars fans. It's like I feel like we're owed something when it comes to these movies. And like what Cuz was saying, and BA was saying, like just taking it for what we saw. I wasn't looking at this to link me to nothing else. I wasn't looking at this to move the story forward. I really took it as it was his own little solo story off over here to the corner. Hey man, what this character way over here in the corner doing over here? Oh, let's go see what he's doing. And that's how I took it. Which, like I said, with that expectation being that low, I was like, okay, I go in. What I got out the movie, I enjoyed it to the point that I do want to go see this again. And when it hits Disney Plus, I'm gonna watch it multiple times. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I was hoping that people were gonna do. Cause I know there's some people that's killing the movie and all that type of stuff. Man, that's fine or whatever. They're expected to be on that level of, like you were saying, Big J, on that level of Empire Strike Back and all that stuff. Like Cuz said, they didn't tell it. They didn't give you any implication that that's what that was going to be. They pretty much told you what it was. They pretty much showed you what it was going to be. But people like put their own spin on it, like, no, it's got to be, if it's a Star Wars movie, it's got to be this level when they never told you that. So that's the part, man. Like I said, now with you saying, because, it making his money back, that's going to be interesting. I hope it does. Now I don't know if this is going to lead to them doing anything like like Thrawn being a bad guy moving forward for the movies or something like that. I know Dave Filoni talked about it before, you know what I'm saying? Talk about doing that, but now we're hearing rumors that they might just go ahead and scrap that whole universe or whatever, just move forward. They're talking about, so what I've been hearing is they're talking about moving completely forward. I'm talking about like way more down in the future, like where it distances itself from all the stuff that's been happening before. Right? So that way you won't be saying like, oh, man, we're Han at around this time or whatever, asking questions and stuff like, no, you're gonna have a whole set of characters, new characters is gonna move this story of Star Wars forward or whatever. But I also was hearing that maybe they continue to keep the Grogu because of how popular Mandalorian and Grogu are, maybe keep their story going on the small screen. So I'm starting to hear a little bit of different stuff, but I am hearing that they talk about moving further into the future. And then you also heard was it Dave Filoni or no, John Favreau. I just read the quote. John Favreau was saying that they got plans for Grogu moving forward, which I think they are gonna. You might get your wish, Big J. They might grow him up and move him further into the future, or whatever. Because he could be over a century, some years old. So,
Man, are they still going with the race Skywalker series?
I go ahead, Big J. My bad. Go ahead.
I've been hearing so I heard a few different things. So the Ray movie that was supposed to happen is a pause because they said, I think, is it Damon Lindelof, they said, is writing a trilogy. So they're doing what we said they should have done. They said he's actually writing a trilogy, or he's working on a trilogy story now.
They said a trilogy. They're taking their time with it, and they're actually, like you said, planning it out. Yes, I heard that. Go ahead.
But yeah, I think they said Damon Lindelof, he's written a bunch of other stuff, but they said he's one that's involved in the writing of it. Yeah. And they said he's working on all three and they said that they could involve Ray, but an adult Ray, like a full Jedi Master type Ray.
Yeah.
And then also bring Grogu back in, but Grogu would be like 80 or 90. So hopefully he would be able to talk at that point, because that's, like I said, the only reason they want to keep Grogu, because Grogu, dude, they selling full size Grogu hot toys right now for $285, life size. Mm-hmm. And the Anzellans, they got two different Anzellans on there for $255 life size, which is 12 inches, 11 inches. Something
if it ain't Baba Freak, I ain't trying to hear it, BJ.
No, they're not. They got other names. So one of them just doesn't have a name, and one of them is like a Atif or something. Is one of them, and then the other one is just Anzellan Engineer. Don't even get a name. But yeah, so what they're trying to do is keep it. They want to keep that cute stuff. That's what Star Wars has to do. They always have to have their little cute stuff. I mean, ever since, tell you, when George Lucas made that deal with Fox back in the days, mm-hmm. to where he got, they paid, he waived his director's fee of $100,000 he was going to make on the first one, and took the merchandising rights. And it was like merchandising rights, and he got the sequel rights. Mm-hmm. Those merchandising rights became a multi-billion-dollar business because he got money on every toy, and then that's when he started writing stuff for toys. And that's when he kind of lost it, when he was like, wait a minute, let me make all this cute stuff for kids. So he kept leaning into it because that's how he made his money.
One of my biggest gripes about this whole thing is, I have a 3-year-old amongst my 4 daughters, and I was like, well, let me get you caught up with this. And 3 years old, they don't have that much of a attention span. And I looked on Disney Plus, and there's no animated stuff. There's no, I was just expecting more other than like the series. It could be like little 3-minute clips and stuff like that of like maybe an animated version, or just featuring Grogu, and that's it. And it's really none of that. So I know it's for the kids. I know that the whole Grogu thing is for kids, but they really didn't double down on the surrounding work, creative work around Grogu. It's just what you see with Mando, and it's just what they came up with in the series, on the TV series and stuff.
Well, they said, remember they did for Baby Groot on Disney Plus. He did a whole.
That's what I was thinking. He did a whole shorts series. Yeah.
You would have think they'd do something like that for Grogu, but no.
Also, I don't know if y'all heard it, but they said before this movie came to pass that Favreau wanted to do a holiday special, and like they said that Disney shut. Huh?
Like they used to do back in the day.
Yeah, they said they shut it down and they decided to do this. Like they're like the powers that be was like, nope, let's make a movie because we want to do a holiday special for Disney Plus, and it's gonna be Mandalorian focus, and
Yeah,
they
see,
shut it down.
that's another thing too that kind of gets me about Lucasfilms. Like, who's in charge over there? I know now they're saying it's Filoni and all that stuff, but if it sounds like Bob Iger is the one who's
Well, no,
pulling the axe out. And
the new guy. Just remember, hey, Iger's out.
oh yeah. I'm tripping. But no, I mean even before then, it sounded like Bob Iger was like, you know what I'm saying, chopping down a lot of these ideas and stuff like that, man. Which was causing Star Wars not to truly get off the ground. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So like what BA was saying, it just feel like why we stuck right here? It's like, well,
because
because every time, like, y'all either and it felt like you either didn't have a plan to give him to show him, or it was just like you just kind of throwing stuff against the wall. And he's like, no, nah, that's not it. Go back to the drawing board or whatever.
but you know what I was
But
gonna say. I think a lot of that. So I think I've mentioned this before. I think a lot of stuff we blame Kathleen Kennedy for is really Bob Iger. Because remember that she would introduce stuff and people would be working on stuff and they would greenlight stuff and then Bob Iger would come back and like, yeah, I don't see that, and then he'd kill it after
but,
they.
but, but
Hmm?
I understand that part, but that doesn't explain the Bob Chapek part. Because even Bob Chapek, they had that report that said that Bob Chapek was telling them stop announcing stuff when you're not coming out with nothing.
Well, but so Chapek came in and they said he was the one that made the push to put everything on Disney Plus and try to get them to start cranking out stuff, and then Iger came
Well,
right back in. And,
I know that. I'm talking about when they was remember that's around the time too. They had all that Disney Plus stuff coming out, but they were announcing movies and they weren't coming out with it. And Bob
remember,
Chapek came out and was saying they told them in the public like stop coming out, stop announcing movies if you're not coming out with anything. You're not putting anything together, or whatever.
but remember, I think Iger came back in because Chapek was only in charge for like 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
And then Iger came back in and killed everything again because Iger's goal was Iger wanted to come in, get Disney hyped up, and make a bunch of money, and then sell it so he could make a couple $1 billion. That was his goal. He was trying to do the same thing they did with Warner Brothers.
And cut back on the Disney Plus stuff too. He's trying to go back to the movies.
Yeah, because that's what he wanted to cut back because there's not enough money in the Disney Plus stuff. He wanted to push stuff to the movies. He wanted to push stuff to the parks. He wanted to be able to make a bunch of money. Like I said, he wanted to make the company look profitable so somebody would swoop in and buy it, like an Apple or somebody else.
He also why he started making recognizable IP again. Why you getting a Toy Story 86? You know what I'm saying? 2 Avenger movies. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, because he wants to make them more recognizable to try to build up that brand again and then go from there, which is smart. You know,
but he's the one that said to cut everything. He's the one that said, let's cut Marvel down to 2, the 2 live action and all that, and cut it down to just 2 movies a year. It wasn't because
he thought it was the quality. I mean, the quantity. That's what he thought it was. It was hurting the brand, which it wasn't the quantity.
No, it was the fact that, like I said, to me, I think it was just because they pulled for Marvel because they pulled Kevin Feige off of a lot of stuff. He wasn't hands on with a lot of that stuff, and he was letting assistant producers and his assistants run stuff, and it was not good.
Yeah,
like Victoria Alonso and all them other people who they've now run off.
Yep.
And then that's the thing, and they overtaxed all of the special effects people. And like I said, they rush stories, they were rushing stuff to Disney Plus just to have content. And like I said, but that's why the last few years of Disney period has been weird because you had Iger, and then they launched Disney Plus, and then they had a pandemic, and then you had Iger come back after Chapek. Chapek was like, let's put everything on Disney Plus, and Iger was like, no, take everything back off Disney Plus. And you know what I'm saying? All the creators are just stuck. And so, like I said, they were announcing stuff. And then Iger came back. Like I said, they were talking about the Ray movie. They talked about,
Last Starfighter or something. No, not Last Starfighter. What was the Patty Jenkins movie?
She was supposed to be doing. I forgot what hers was. But she had one. Remember, Taika Waititi was supposed to have a movie. They said Iger killed all that stuff when he came in.
Kevin Feige supposed to have one.
Yeah, Feige was supposed to produce a Star Wars movie. But Iger showed up and killed. When he came back in, he killed all that stuff, and that's why we haven't had a Star Wars movie in 7 years. Because the company changed hands a couple times. Leadership, and they killed all the. They kept changing the direction of the creatives.
Y'all think Star Wars is losing its luster?
No.
No, we just saw
good stories. Just like we said. like we said, tell good stories. If they tell good stories, people will be back for it and be back for it big time. That's all it is. Tell good stories.
What do we say? We just saw Darth Maul, and we said the only problem we might have is because I kept hearing people say they're trying to figure out a way to bring Maul back, and I'm like, don't you do it. You did it
It's too
before.
late.
Don't do it again because they like, what if we bring it? Because when after Obi-Wan killed him, he did a funeral pyre. He burned him up. So what are you gonna do? They're gonna come back from forced smoke? You know what I'm saying?
Force ashes.
Forced
And that
ash, you're gonna reassemble from this hatred.
and that's why I'm glad too. Like I was saying a minute ago, that rumor that they're talking about moving forward into the future, starting with the Ryan Gosling movie. They're talking about moving further into the future, and I've been saying like that's what they should have been doing. Continue the story moving forward. Stop going back to within this 30-year time period or this 5-year time period or whatever. Let's stop doing that, man. Because like I said, that's when your stories start getting convoluted. That's when you start forgetting what you did, 30 years ago for a previous movie that's linked to this movie that you're making right now. We had them problems or whatever, right? Where you got to retcon stuff and all that stuff. Just go ahead and move forward, man. Get a plan together and put a blueprint of what y'all want to do moving forward. That way, we get fresh stories, like you said, Big J. This new generation of people can be linked to this new generation of Star Wars moving forward, and we all can kind of be on one accord with Star Wars. And right now, we're kind of divisive, like you just said. I like the prequels. I had no issues with the prequels. You know what I'm saying? It was very entertaining for me. You know what I mean? And really, the prequels is what got me into the original Star Wars movies, to the point that I bought the box set when it came out. Now I got my gripes on the sequels, but it is what it is. But hey, I just that's what kind of got me into it. But we can kind of move forward and get past the prequels or the originals and the sequels and start over from scratch and have a full-fledged plan going forward, bro. I'm guaranteed, like cuz I'm guaranteed folk gonna come back.
Yeah. I think it's a good Gearwall to write a trilogy. They ain't gonna do that. Too much money.
Hey, it's to the point I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't even want them to have Ray in the movie.
But that's so.
Just distance yourself from all that, man, and just completely start over.
What did I say
Still
about a
within
year
the
ago?
universe, but just start over.
Remember what I said about a year ago? Because everybody's like, Star Wars has to be the Skywalker family, and I'm like, it don't. Make it something. Like I said, you have an entire universe.
Yes,
make
it's
it
a vast
about
universe.
Tell another story, and they're like, "Nah, we can't do that. We got to tell the same story over and over again."
Which is why I trip out about this movie here for like, why they ain't connected to this and that. Well, it should be connected. This is a story of this person who way over here in the corner that's still within the universe of Star Wars. He's just doing his own little story right here. You don't have to have everything connected in every facet of Star Wars. Like you said, Star Wars is so vast. You could tell so many stories. You could tell more stories within Star Wars than any other franchise that's had anything to do with a comic book or action figure or whatever. You can do more with Star Wars because it is a vast universe. You could tell a story of a guy way over here. It ain't got nothing to do with the Empire. Like you said, the underground. They can do the underground stuff. With the bosses and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we see a little bit of that in Maul or whatever, right? We can get some stories like that. It's so much you can tell, man. But
I'll tell you what they need to do is the same thing we've always said. If they're gonna have Damon Lindelof write that the future stuff, then get Tony Gilroy or one of those other writers to go back and write the Old Republic stuff, and have two different storylines, two vastly different times, so they ain't got to tie to each other. You know what I mean? And
thousands of years apart.
Yes, and then have both stories going simultaneously. There's two different tracks of movies. They got nothing to do with each other. No crossovers.
I've been wanting the Old Republic for so long, BJ. I've been screaming that for years. Like, I don't know why they haven't came out with an Old Republic movie yet. Old Republic anything, but and Mustang supposed to be doing what's his name? Mango was supposed to be coming out with a First Jedi movie. Now that would have been interesting. That would have been realistic. That would have been before the Old Republic, before the Jedi were actually established. You know what I'm saying? So that would have been interesting. Especially with a director like Mango, it definitely would have been interesting.
There's tons, like I said, there's tons of lore, there's tons of books, there's all that source material. Like Marvel, they got how many thousands of pages of material. Go find something and just tell a story.
Yeah. Sure, I got a couple of comics down there in my collection right now. They can be telling.
Somebody said they might. Somebody was suggesting they do a Shadows of the Empire between Empire and all that, but Luke was out there, and
Yeah, but I mean, you got to recast the person to play Luke
of
unless you're gonna
course,
do that de-aging stuff or whatever.
no, they should have been ahead and did that before.
Yeah, I agree. All right, fellas, we're gonna get y'all's rating of this show, man. Let's hit y'all Kaioken rating. All right, BJ, scale of 1 to 10, man. What you got?
From a purely entertainment standpoint, I'll probably give it 7.95.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be worse.
See?
What you got, BA?
This is a strong. I'm gonna say 8,
He's gonna
8.5.
say that. He's gonna say that.
You know, nothing groundbreaking, but definitely has a ton of rewatchability to it. And that's the kind of that's what you need. Just can I watch this again,
Yep.
and enjoy myself. So yeah.
What you got, cuz?
8.5. I agree with BA. It's definitely rewatchable. Mostly, like, even more than twice, you can just keep rewatching it. It's one of those ones to be like, I haven't watched this in a while. Let me watch this again.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when they hit Disney Plus, I'll be watching it a million times. Yeah, I'm with y'all. I'm gonna give it 8.5. And I'm gonna give it 8.75. Like I said, I like the movie, man. It was very enjoyable. I'm gonna go watch it again in the movie theaters one more time at least, to try to help with that box office. So I'm gonna try to watch it again probably sometime this weekend, man. But yeah, all right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get to the comments, and then we can call it a night, fellas. Oh, Pluto says Rise of Skywalker being 6. Invalidate this whole list. Yeah, bro. Matter of fact, let me look at that again. Hold on. What was it again? Where it listed? Yeah, I gotta look at that one more time. Yeah, I'm shocked that it's that high. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah. I am shocked. Like, it's right below Rogue One at 86%. I'm as much as that everybody killed that. That's crazy, bro. But I mean, yeah, it is what it is, though, man. It is what it is. Peter said no, not this one. I don't know what he was talking about with that. Pluto also says I only create a plan you should have for Grogu John is Order 66 Part 2.
That's crazy.
66 Part 2, huh? Order 66. He said, what is this? He said, I like this movie. Okay. You like the movie. Pluto said, yeah, I grew up on the prequels. I didn't realize they were hated until I was in college. But Anakin's still my GOAT. You don't care, Big J. He said he holds a place in my childhood, not Vader. Ooh.
Now Vader was the number one bad guy in movie history for years.
I told you it's about how people how it made people feel.
Hold on now. Hold on, Pluto. I mean, we just watch your language. That's all I want you to do. Watch your language. Yeah, like I said, man, for me, I like the prequels. Like he said, I was hearing people hating on the prequels. It was like the first person I heard kind of hating on it was John Campy, and I was like, wait, why do you hate the prequels? But like you said, Big J, he was one of the ones who watched the original Star Wars. That's how he got into Star Wars, watching the original Star Wars. And, he kind of looked at it in the lens of the original Star Wars compared to the prequels or whatever. And look, man, I'm one of those people, man, like, I like the movie, but I'm not going to sit here and, bury my head in the sand and say, yep, certain things don't apply for this movie. Is the dialogue great? No, you're right. Was Anakin's dialogue great? No. Were there certain things that were questionable? Yes. But overall, did I enjoy the movies, man? You know what I'm saying? Did it bring me closer to my love of Star Wars? Yes. So.
All right, let me ask you a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So, so between episodes 4 and 5, they were building up this romantic relationship with Luke and Leia. And then they said because the her being his sister was not decided until they wrote Return of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. And you could tell because there was supposed to be a love triangle between him, Han, and her. And then at the last minute he was like, you know what, that's your sister. and everybody was like, "Wait, yeah, didn't they kiss each other when he came out the back to tank?" And so,
Yeah,
yeah, and people was like all confused. You know what I mean? So
that never happened, BJ. You see,
that didn't
Lord,
happen.
yeah,
Okay,
Mhm.
you
it
just
never
wave your
happened.
hand. This ain't the kiss scene you looking at.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, even as a kid, I was watching it. I was like, I was confused. Like, what was happening
Wait,
there?
that's his sister.
Mhm.
Wait a minute.
That's it. So tell me the whole time it's your sister. Oh, okay. But didn't he also say too that they wrote wrote that Darth Vader was his father too, like later
Mm-hmm.
before episodes or an episode two.
And right before Empire,
Second
it
one.
was like because nobody knew that until he said the words, and they said that he actually said something else
Yeah,
on David Prowse.
the original.
He didn't say that. Yeah, David Prowse said something else, and so when they dubbed it in, they said even they said James Earl Jones was like, "You sure this is right?"
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, "Wait,
And so,
I'm
like,
his
hey,
father."
Luke, I
Mhm.
guess I'm your father.
Yeah. I
You,
guess so.
yeah, I'm shocked too. I don't know. I don't know. It's like wow. But yeah, man. Listen, y'all let us know, man. What y'all think about the movie? Would y'all rate the movie? How many times have you seen the movie? BA said he saw it at least 18 times already. So y'all let us know how many times y'all seen the movie. It's gonna probably do it for us tonight, man. As y'all know, we are Cap and Crown. I said Cap and Crown. God dang, it's late. I'm tired. I'm sorry. This is Cuz We Geeked. Right there on the screen. Cuz We Geeked. We talk about all things in the geek culture involving movies and television. Listen, we will be back here on Saturday. Y'all go watch Spider Noir. We'll be talking about that on Saturday. So I'm trying to watch that one tomorrow too, man. Like I said, I know I got a show tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to at least get a couple episodes. Matter of fact, how long each episode, BJ? An hour?
I think. Well, no. So wait, I'll tell you. Are we just gonna do the first 4 on Saturday and then do the next 4 the next on Tuesday?
Is that what y'all want to do?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I
fine.
suggested. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
that's
good
fine.
with that, splitting it up.
Okay, well, part 1 of discussion, episodes 1 through 4. Y'all gotta watch it in black and white too. Episode 4. And then on Tuesday, we're gonna watch the last 4.
You
So
can't discuss it if you watch it in color.
hey, and that also that also gives y'all time too, man. If y'all, you need to catch up, you got some stuff going on during the week, y'all can actually watch it and y'all can come back and let us know what y'all think. But yeah. So with all that being said, man, it's your boy Real, got Cuz in the building, BJ, BA, Cuz We Geeked. We'll talk about all things in the geek culture involving movies and television. All we ask y'all to do is stay geeked. We out, y'all.